the security agencies actually created fake terrorist groups, secret prison run by the DTFI, and that prison, its code name is Aynaghar, or House of Mirrors. We need to find out what happened to these hundreds of people in recent Bangladeshi history. We saw some of this during Ershad's period. People are labeled as jihadis and then kept there, secretly detained there for years and months. They are actually telling us, well, this used to be there, but this is... This whole investigation started a few years back when Sheikh Mohammed Salim, a young Bangladeshi man who was then in Malaysia, he called me and we started chatting. And he was telling me about this very brutal and bizarre secret prison somewhere in Dhaka. That's how we started. That's why actually we started looking for this place, because Salim did not know what this place is, where exactly this is located, so on and so forth. But he remembered some minute details, what kind of food was served, what kind of mineral water bottle was there, sort of some features of the facility like a collapsible gate. So we started from there, and eventually we found that this is the joint interrogation cell, the secret prison run by the DTFI, and that prison, its code name is Aynaghar, or House of Mirrors. Salim was in Malaysia, but survivor number 2, Hasinur Rahman, he's a retired military officer. He did the interview from here, from being in Dhaka. There were like some cases filed against him, and he had to like take precautions so that he is not abducted and arrested and so on. We did provide him with some legal support from Netrum News. We are very strong on that. We are very strong on protecting our sources. And also the whistleblowers who worked with us, they were serving military officers affiliated with the agency. Fortunately, nothing serious actually happened to any of the survivors or the whistleblowers. We did, apart from survivor number 1 and 2, we actually have more survivors. Not all of them came on camera, or we didn't publish the interviews yet, because this is an ongoing investigation. So we have to be very, very, very meticulous in how we verify the claims. So we did verify some of their claims remotely, by speaking to whistleblowers, by speaking to people who have been to this facility, by matching survivor testimonies. So that was, and we also use satellite imagery to have a look at this whole area. And now, we have been there, with the chief advisor of the interim government of Bangladesh. We have been to this secret facility, and we have matched some of the details that survivors gave us, and I would say 90% of that checks out. Unfortunately, what we have found is that there are some major distortions and modifications to the facility, and even that is detectable because we are sharing this footage, whatever we took, with the survivors, and they are actually telling us, well, this used to be there, but this is not really, for example, exhaust fans. Some of the exhaust fans have been changed. like some of the grills, some of the doors have been taken off, things like that. So we are still verifying this cold details. Well, all these secret detention facilities, you have Aynaghar, which is JIC, DGFI. Then you have a large number of secret detention facilities which were run by RAB. There were a few run by CTTC. And all of this, we need to realize, was part of this war against terror, which was in many ways supported and bankrolled by Western countries, including the United States. And we have seen it elsewhere. We have seen it in Pakistan, for example. The entire machinery of state terror in these situations are actually legitimized in a way in the name of war on terror. But what we have found in Bangladesh is that the war on terror that was being prosecuted by Sheikh Hasina and her regime was mostly fake. Like, we have found evidence that the government actually, or the security agencies actually created fake terrorist groups. The government actually ran something called sting operations, where absolutely innocent people were brought into a network of jihadis, and then they were abducted and put in secret prison, and then later shown arrested in these trumped up fake terrorism cases. And what I understand right now is that there are hundreds of such cases still going on. Well, I am not aware of any civilized society where secret detention facilities exist. We know that some torture chambers and secret facilities do exist in war zones. For example, we know about the Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq, where the invading US Army is to torture their own, torture Iraqis. We know about Guantanamo Bay, which is not secret, by the way. It is a torture facility, but we also know that it exists. The closest thing to Aynaghar that I can think of, or the closest thing to this network of secret prisons where people are labeled as jihadis and then kept there, secretly detained there for years and months, is China. What is happening? Those are concentration camps for Uyghur Muslims. So anyone who claims that, this is so common, I think they don't actually know what they're talking about. It's very difficult to, debunk idiots. So I don't want to do that. Well, secret detention cells run by the government are very different than random torture facilities run by private citizens. I think this was the very first time in recent Bangladeshi history. We saw some of this during Ershad's period. That was a military dictatorship. So this is fairly new. JIC, the facility, existed as an interrogation facility, a torture facility, even during BNP. But the key difference here is that, we knew who is being taken there. For example, some of the Armenian leaders were actually taken there, and they alleged that they have been subjected to torture. But we knew that this was the location they were taken to. And here we are talking about, for example, I can give you one example. Michael Chakma, the UPDF leader, Chakma rights activist, or indigenous rights activist. He was kept there for, I think, 4 years. And nothing like that happened during other governments. now the question is, I mean, you asked me whether, like these secret facilities will be there, will exist going forward. I really hope that they won't exist, because when we first reported this, right, the government actually rejected it, saying that it's completely cooked up, it's propaganda, so on and so forth. But now everyone knows. So this is a question actually that can only be answered by the people of Bangladesh, not any political party, not a single government, but the entire citizenry of Bangladesh needs to decide whether they will allow such kind of facilities to exist in this country. The government, the Yunus administration has done that on day one, I think. Yunus gave a speech, and that's where he mentions that Aynaghar gulo bondo kore deya hoyeche. All the Aynaghars or the secret facilities have been closed down. My suggestion would be that what we right now need is we need to find out what happened to these hundreds of people who were abducted and kept in this at this site. Many of them are yet to return. So we need to find out what happened to them, and then we need to and we must provide adequate legal support and also financial support to the survivors. They have been wronged by the state, and the state has a responsibility. I really don't think that the current setup here in Bangladesh actually equips us to deal with these cases, because we do need forensic expertise that does not really exist here. We need international assistance. And another point is that most of the people, starting from Sheikh Hasina and downwards, they have fled Bangladesh. So unless we want like a short trial, we'll just have a trial in absentia where we'll maybe bring in some foreign observers and journalists and pronounce a verdict, which I don't think is not going to make any difference really. I think what we really need to do is internationalize this case. Number one, we need to have more United Nations assistance. And number two, and more crucial, is that I think the government, Bangladesh government, either the Yunus administration or the next one, needs to refer this case to the International Criminal Court.